All right, what's up, guys? So, yeah, I saw this tweet and I wanted to talk on it again. Not an Arc Raiders hater. All right, I'm just saying I think that this is a tweet that needs to be discussed in a rational thinking way. But anyway, so the content creator Shrewd said that the Game Award, or yeah, shout out to Dexter too, but excuse me, Shrewd said the Game Awards was rigged after Arc Raiders failed to be nominated for Game of the Year. And then this was something that he said. Yet another rigged year. We know Expedition is going to win. If Donkey Kong wins, this award show is chalk. If Donkey Kong wins, zero credibility. So here's the thing, all right? For those that are unfamiliar with the Donkey Kong games, I've been playing that game since I was a kid. That was one of the first few video games that I do remember playing. Like I had the Nintendo 64 growing up. So, yeah, Donkey Kong, that's mandatory. It's like you have to get a Donkey Kong game when you get you a Nintendo console. Fast forward, next Nintendo console I remember that really stood out in our household was the Wii. I don't think we got a Donkey Kong game then, but I'm trying to think. I feel like I guess like if Mario Kart, if that counts, like technically the Donkey Kong was still involved in our house, just not as a solo project and stuff. Fast forward, Nintendo Switch comes out, and I do remember on the first Switch it was a couple of Donkey Kong games that I played where I was like, yeah, them games is good. Then this latest one, and I actually do have it, I just haven't been playing it. But anyways, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Okay, this is the game that I would imagine that Shrewd is talking about. And when you're comparing this game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, to Arc Raiders, let's just sit down and I guess talk about I guess the longevity of a single session with this with the game. So let's say you play Donkey Kong Bonanza straight. You don't take no breaks. You play from beginning to the last part of the game, 100% progression, all that stuff, right? How long do you think that's going to take to do all of that? So that's one thing that we can say about Donkey Kong Bonanza is that it's not a fair comparison to Arc Raiders. If yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza was an extraction shooter game, then that would make sense. But that's the thing though, if Arc Raiders needs to be nominated for Game of the Year. All the other extraction shooter games need to be nominated for Game of the Year, especially where you got extraction shooter games that has a lot more content than Arc Raiders. I feel like I know of Shrewd, I just don't be watching his content like that. But you can tell like just by what he's saying that he's playing a lot of Arc Raiders. And that's the thing, like, that's okay. You play Arc Raiders as long as you want to play it. It doesn't matter. It's your gaming PC or console, however you're playing it. You have that God given rights to play Arc Raiders for however long you want to play it. But when you're putting this game in the same category as Donkey Kong, and it can be from a Donkey Kong game from all the way on the Nintendo 64 or even the last Donkey Kong game, when you're comparing a game where the longevity of one session with the game is a lot longer than, because at the end of the day, you don't know what game you're going to join into when playing Arc Raiders. Donkey Kong, you know what game you're joining into. And then it's like on top of that, if you're comparing the content, like, let's just see if they're gonna go over the content in this game on the back. Well, it is an open world game, so I mean they don't really go over a whole lot. But just from what I had played, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely one of those games where I know I can step away from it, come back, play it. Still gonna have the same amount of fun as I did the first time when I played it and stuff. There's a lot to do in the Donkey Kong game, so that's why I'm like, and I know people are gonna probably be like, how many times have I played Donkey Kong comparing it to Arc Raiders? I did play Arc Raiders a couple of times, but I have to say I know people are probably be like, oh, well, you're a fan of Arc Raiders then. I still have Donkey Kong Bonanza. I asked for my money back for Arc Raiders because I knew that after playing one game of Arc Raiders, I already know what to expect. the situation ain't gonna be no different. I guess like if you do the missions and all that stuff, but to have it, if we, I guess like again comparing Donkey Kong Bonanza to Arc Raiders, how would you guys like it if, let's say, you're playing the Donkey Kong Bonanza game, right? And there's other characters in your game, and you're trying to do missions, you're trying to progress, but there's characters killing, or yeah, there's people in the that's also playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. They're killing you, preventing you from completing the mission. Do you think you would still play Donkey Kong Bonanza? So that's why it's like it's stuff like that where you guys sit down and think about it. Again, not a fair comparison because one game it's like it's limited, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza it's a fully they added all the content. I guess like if they do decide to do DLCs and stuff like that, I feel like that would stand out a lot more than a Arc Raiders DLC. Because what is an Arc Raiders DLC? Oh, new a new gun, a new area, maybe a mountain or whatever. I don't know, but other than that, it's like fam, the game it's like you can play it one time and you'll see everything that you need to see. And even if it's like yeah, you explore the whole map, collect all the weapons, do all the missions and all that stuff, you've done everything that you need to do. Donkey Kong Bonanza on the other hand, it's like there's more to do than just doing the very first level over and over and over again. There's characters to explore, there's bosses that you could go up. I would imagine I need to play more of Donkey Kong Bonanza, but there's a lot more to do in Donkey Kong Bonanza than there is in Arc Raiders. So that's why I'm like, yeah, when I played Donkey Kong, the last time I played it, I'm like, okay, I know that there's going to be something different the next time I play the game. Arc Raiders, it's like, okay, same thing. Go to this area, extract whatever I need to extract, go on back to the main menu, I guess. So yeah, that's why I'm like, it's just not a fair comparison, you know. But I guess like if we're comparing content and stuff, Donkey Kong Bonanza, even if you're comparing, like I said, a Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong game, it has a lot more content than Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders has one thing that you could do, extract in a map and extract out of a map. Donkey Kong from I even remember just the Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong game. I remember playing that and having the most amount of fun with that. I don't remember everything that I need to remember about it, but it's definitely one of those games where I'm like, I would rather go back and I wish that they would add it to the backwards compatible thing on the Nintendo Switch so I can play that game again. But yeah, for some reason they haven't. I'm like, that's weird. That's one game that I have not seen. I don't know. Maybe I gotta look a little bit harder and stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen that Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong game on the Switch. But there is still a lot of other games on there and stuff that I can play. But anyways, but yeah, it's like that game has a lot of content. And I'm saying, and then this, I think that Expedition. Hold on for a second. If that's the, let me see, because that game I remember seeing a lot of people. Yeah, that Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That's a game where I'm like another game where it's like yeah, it has a lot of different. I need to play that game and see what it's about. But that's a game that got a lot of content up with it and things. So if you're even comparing that game to Arc Raiders, every time the thing is this, I guess like you know to furthermore elaborate on my counter argument to Shrewd. When you look at somebody playing, like, let's say there's two different Twitch streamers or three different Twitch streamers. There's one Twitch streamer playing Arc Raiders. There's one Twitch streamer playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then there's another Twitch streamer playing Expedition. When I hope he ain't talking about, because I know there was that one game. I think that game is called Expedition. I think he's talking because that's the only game I can think of that stands out with Expedition in the title. I don't think he's talking about like that Mud Runner Expedition game. But anyways, yeah, it was just something I got to thinking about. I'm like, I don't think he's talking about it. If he's talking about that, then yeah, Arc Raiders is definitely better than that Expedition game. But anyways, but no, again, like talking on the three different content creators, when you join a person's stream, like let's say they stream like all days of the week and stuff. Every day, you're going to see that Donkey Kong streamer doing something different. Every day, you're going to see that Expedition player doing something different. Arc Raiders, on the other hand, same thing. Every time when you play that game, nothing different unless, yeah, you're doing the missions. But if you're not doing the missions, it's the same thing. Go into a map, collect some stuff, extract. There ain't no like other modes. There ain't no story. There's nothing to it. And it's like, how can you put this in the same conversation? And on top of that, too, the game just coming out. How is this game usually? So how that stuff works, like award shows and all that stuff, it has to be stuff from the year prior. So and what artist was it? Kendrick Lamar. I just remember it was an artist that came out with an album, and but it didn't meet the deadline of when it can be nominated for an award and stuff. And I think it was either a Grammy or one of those award shows. But anyways, I remember the artist releasing their album like right after the deadline was like it passed and stuff. So everybody was saying, "Oh, this album should be nominated for album of the year or whatever artist of the." But that was the thing. It was like it went beyond that deadline, so it couldn't get nominated. And I'm like, "Fam, so switching it back to Arc Raiders, it's like this game came out what like 2-3 weeks ago and you're already trying to nominate it for game of the year, and it's like, fam, all the other different games that let's just see some of the games that came out this year, because if I had to say if there's any game that would reach game of the year, because hold on for a second, I just want to see Battlefield 6 and their just with the Steam player count alone, and then let's look up Arc Raiders Steam player count, because I always like going based off of this. But and then also I want to look up games that came out in 2025. Okay, so I'm gonna be kind of just going through and all the different games, but first I want to talk on the player count for both Battlefield, and it's gonna probably be a little bit more now since Arc Raiders is the bigger game and stuff. But let's just check what all-time peak Battlefield, and who knows, maybe it might be more with Arc Raiders, but with Battlefield, 747,000 players was playing this game when it came out last month. I didn't see that with Arc Raiders, and it might have changed. I don't know, but overall, and that's just talking on Steam. This ain't talking on Xbox and PlayStation stuff like that. And Arc Raiders is available on Xbox and PlayStation. Arc Raiders all-time peak 2 days ago, and so that like yeah, that was just from 2 days ago, and it's like, so it ain't no telling how many people played this game when it originally had came out. But anyways, 481,000 people, that's the peak. That's as high as it's done went up to. Now yeah, there is a lot of people playing the game, comparing it to Battlefield and stuff, because it's the latest game to come out. It's the bigger game and stuff. So, but anyways, so yeah, if I, my own personal opinion, I would say Battlefield, because I'm like, what? It's the same exact thing. It's just you join a game and it's the same stuff over and over again. At least with Battlefield, they do have multiple modes that you can join into and stuff. And they just recently came out with a season where it's adding maps and all that stuff. But anyways, but just some of the games that came out this year where I'm like, I think that those games should also be nominated. And it might be some games that I don't like, and there's gonna be some games, but there's a lot of different games that came out this year. But anyways, Doom: The Dark Ages, that game was solid. Monster Hunter Wilds, that game was solid. Expedition 33, of course. I don't know if Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater would count since it's a remake, but anyways, I guess like yeah, you know, throwing that in the list. Split Fiction, because that was a game I feel like a lot of people at one point in time they were playing that game. You seen it where it was like everybody was playing that game, it felt like. But Elden, oh yeah, that was, so I guess like it's a standalone, it's one of those like standalone games. But it's like I don't know if it would be considered DLC or a standalone game. But anyways, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Borderlands 4, I guess I don't know. I wouldn't nominate that game of the year, but I guess for a nomination, possibly maybe. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Mario Kart World, I feel like it could have had a little bit more in it, but yeah, there's that game that also came out. The Outer Worlds 2, then I said, yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Ninja Gaiden 4. I ain't gonna say Call of Duty Black Ops 7, but I guess some people might nominate that in things. But anyways, Dying Light the Beast, The Altars, Autumn Fall. Oh yeah, that's right. That game did come out this year. Okay, but anyways, Mafia the Old Country. I guess like even though it's a remake, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Then yeah, Battlefield 6, Sniper Elite Resistance. They did. I remember they did earlier this year remastered the Elden Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Nah, when the sport games, I don't know. Like they do show WWE 2K25 and Madden NFL 26, but If you guys want to nominate those games, you very well can have it on that list. Same with FC 26. But Dune Awakening, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and let's see. Yeah, there's like then that's just the games that Google recommended, or yeah, that Google had pop up. I'm pretty sure there's some other games too that could get nominated. Where if we're talking gameplay, yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of games that came out this year got more gameplay, replayable gameplay and stuff value than Arc Raiders. It's like Arc Raiders, if you're only allowed to play this game one time and stuff, it's like, okay, you play that one mode and then that's it. It's not like it got a gang of modes, story, co-op, PvE, PvP, and all this other. It's just an extraction shooter. It's a PvPvE extraction shooter. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I nominating it for game of the year. I don't know. I'm like, even next year when it would be eligible, I still fit. And then yeah, and then with all the other games that's gonna be coming out next year, yeah, bro. I don't know. I'm like, I think game of the year, even though it's gonna probably be a little bit late and it won't be nominated for game of the year next year. But Grand Theft Auto 6, I feel like that. Even though like yeah, it's going to be a year and stuff after, and who knows, Arc Raiders might have like a lot more content when the come next year and things. But even then, still, I feel like when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, that's just gonna put Arc Raiders further down in the rankings and stuff. And then ain't no telling what other extraction shooters is gonna be coming out next year and things. There's those ones that has even been published yet to Steam and Epic Games and stuff like that, where I feel like that when those games start getting talked about and you start seeing streamers playing those games, Marathon for an example. So yeah, that's what I'm like, yeah, bro. Let's just see, a year from now where Arc Raiders is at. But if it's still in the same position that it's in right now, come next year, game ain't gonna be nominated for no game of the year. It's like in order for a game to be game of the year, it has to have more than just one thing to do in there and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.